A weather warning has been issued here in the UK about it being the hottest day ever, but it's not as hot as the next Gamebook cover art from Gamebooks number 31 to 40. Hi everyone, welcome back to Gamebook Collector. In this episode we're counting down the top 3 Gamebook cover art from Gamebooks number 31 to 40. Previously we've done Gamebooks number 21 to 30, number 11 to 20 and number 1 to 10. So everyone, before I get into the top 3 Gamebook cover art from Gamebooks number 31 to 40, I'd just like to shout out to everyone who's subscribed to the channel. I just had a wee look today and I've noticed I'm up to 61 subscribers. It's a very small channel, it's still growing. We're all sharing the same passion for these adventure game books over the years, and I'd just like to thank each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. I know it's not a huge dent in YouTube, but it means a lot to me. Thanks for subscribing, guys. So let's move on. Right, so the first game book we're looking at in this section is game book number 31. It's Battle Blade Warrior, and the first thing you might notice is what on earth happened in the top right hand corner of the game book. Well, it was stored in the loft for a number of years, and a wee mouse has got to the game book. It's a wee shot of Battle Blade Warrior, and it's getting its teeth into Fighting Fantasy, and it quite enjoyed it, I think. So the wee mouse is also like the top hand corner of the book, and it's gave it a wee nibble. So yeah, Battle Blade Warrior. The front cover shows the artist's work shows a type of lizard creature brandishing a spear on top of a flying pterodactyl. Below is a green valley, and in the background is 2 cliff faces that overlook the valley. It's not a bad cover. Yeah, it's quite detailed. Yeah, quite inviting. Again, you've got the Steve Jackson, Neil Livingstone Dragon series signage at the top and Fighting Fantasy symbol on the right hand bottom of the book. So the back of the book, you can see it's actually got a John Menzies price on it there. It was $2.25 back in the day when I purchased this book. John Menzies is long gone now. It was subsequently taken over or changed names to W.H. Smith many decades ago. So it just actually shows how old this actually game book is. So a brief description in the back. It says the fate of Weimorna lies in your hands. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. For 6 years Weimorna has been besieged, but soon it must fall to the evil lizard men. I'll take it this is one of the lizard men here on the front cover. Day after day, you fight alongside your war-weary mother, Queen Peril, but only divine assistance can save you now. Then the great Lord Telak appears in your dream. You are the one chosen to seek out the weapon which will aid you in the city against the dark forces. Your mission will be fraught with danger, and you must succeed. You are Weimorna's only hope. So that's a brief description of the book. Now, the cover of this one was drawn by David Gallagher. He's the artist in the front cover, and inside the book, apart from the mount state of that, jeez, oh, certainly went to town. So it's a map and inside cover of River Weimorna or River Weimorn, Axe Head Plains. So inside the book, it was first published in 1988, and it was written by Mark Gascoigne and illustrated by David Gallagher, who is artist of this front cover. So David Gallagher is artist of this book here. Yeah, as I said, it's quite a good cover. A lot of detail in it. It does stand out a lot. It's quite inviting. So that's game book number 31, Battle Blade Warrior. So next game book on the list here is number 32, Slaves of the Abyss. Now the book cover on the left hand side, you can see a type of evil villain giving a really evil stare. On the right hand side is a type of floating prison or floating prison cell with prisoners inside. There's also a type of multi-dimensional ghost-like dragon creatures floating about in space. Now the multi-dimensional prison type cell here does resemble does give me the impression it was maybe based on Superman 2, where the evil villains were put into a floating multi-dimensional prison square, floating about space, and eventually ended up at Earth. So as that idea came from there, I don't know, but it does kind of resemble that. Yep, not bad. Cover's not bad. I've seen worse in the Fighting Fantasy covers. So just going to the back of the book here is a brief description of what it's about. Calamare lies defenceless, the armies are away facing invasion to the north, and now a new threat is at hand, another enemy from the east, Lady Carolina of Calamare, summons you a famous adventurer to a raid, but can you help? Will you manage to preserve the stronghold of good against the invading hordes, or is this task beyond even your heroic abilities? You'll need your wits as well as your sword of Thane steel to prevent the sands of time engulfing the city. So that's the description in the back. The artwork was done by Terry Oakes. He's the artist of this front cover here. So inside the book, behind the front cover, you've got where the map usually is. You've got a thing that says timesheet. It's like an hourglass design. This game book was published in 1988, and artist of the book, internal artwork was by Bob Harvey. The book was written by Paul Mason, and Steve Williams were the authors of this game book. As I said, yeah, it's not a bad cover. It's quite inviting. It does kind of resemble Superman 2 with the flying prison, flying through a multi-dimensional space, or a multi-dimensional prison, maybe flying through space. And this is a villain here, I assume, on the left-hand side. I've not actually done this game book, but it does. Yeah, it looks not too bad. So that's game book number 32, Slaves of the Abyss, and we come to game book number 33, and this one is Skylord. First impressions, well, I thought the Star Strider had a bad cover until I've seen this thing. The echoes of Jar Jar Binks latterly in the first Star Wars episode, The Phantom Menace, even though this game book was written well before it. It's like one of these Star Wars speeder things, speeder bikes or land speeders. It kind of looks like that. It's more a motorbike, flying motorbike thing with handlebars there. It looks like a laser coming off it. Yeah, it's a bright yellow background, and again this creature here with a very large mouth and strange eyes. Yeah, I've seen better covers from the Fighting Fantasy books. Yep. Okay, moving to the back of the book. So a brief rundown: Labastan, genius geneticist and renegade steward of Vax, king of the planet Insulina, hope that's correct, Insulina, is poised to conquer the cosmos with an army of terrifying clones, dog-headed prefectas, the perfect warriors. Only a solo mission can penetrate the defences of Labastan's fortress, planet Arok. Only the best solar trooper can undertake such a mission. The agent is you. Yeah. Okay, the cover illustration was by Les Edwards. Having a look at this book, other than the cover and artwork, etc., is how pristine this book actually is for its age. So the spine's not got a bend on it. So if it's a very, very good copy of Skylord here I've got, there's a slight bend in the upper right hand corner. So inside the book we have diagram 1, diagram 2 inside the front cover. I'm not sure what that's about. It's a bit different from the other Fighting Fantasy game books. This game book was first published in 1988, and it's by Martin Allen, illustrated by Tim Sale. So the internal artwork is by Tim Sale, and front illustration is by Les Edwards. So that's yeah, Skylord, not the best. Okay, game book number 34 is Stealer of Souls. This cover here, you've got a type of I don't really know, is that a magician, or he is the Stealer of Souls. He's brandishing a sword in his right hand, his left hand's holding a flame, and has a type of ghoul type skull ghost behind him, and a type of translucent ghost rat. I like this cover. It does stand out. It's a lot more kind of serious cover than Skylord. This is the type of Fighting Fantasy cover I would go for. Yeah, I do like this cover. A lot of kind of smoky blue background as well. So the artist in this one is by David Gallagher, and basically again we've got John Menzies there, so it's not the price. It says 7, not sure what that was or that means back in the day from John Menzies. So it says in the back, sheer terror awaits you on the Isle of Despair. That doesn't sound very, that sounds ominous, doesn't it? The name Mord Ranith, so hopefully that's pronounced correctly. The name Mord Ranith strikes fear into the hearts of all who dwell in Titan. Now he has found a way to unleash a magical army of fear upon the land. The wizard Alexander has been kidnapped, and you must rescue him from the Isle of Despair. But you must also enter the Empire of Illusion, confront Mord Ranith, and save Titan. I'm assuming that's Mord Ranith there on the front cover. So inside the game book we have the Isle of Despair map, it's a better looking illustration than Skylord's one. So that's inside the front cover there, and this book was written by Keith Martin, aka Carol Sargent, and Keith Martin was his pseudonym he penned under. And it's illustrated by Russ Nicholson, so the internal artwork's Russ Nicholson, and the cover illustrations by David Gallagher. Yep, very good cover. Steel of Souls, number 34. Moving on in the series here, in this rundown from Gamebooks number 31 to 40, we have this one here, Daggers of Darkness. That's a cracking cover, absolutely fantastic cover. You've got a warrior. It's basically riding on two tigers with an eagle on his right hand side, and he's brandishing a spike club. He's got one eye. In the background, obviously, it looks like water and kind of ice. A different type of font they've used here. You've got the dragon symbol at the top, and again down the right hand side the yellow Fighting Fantasy logo. It's a cracking looking cover, very impressive this one, very inviting, very more adult orientated than the likes of the Skylord covers. This one does stand out a lot. So moving to the back of the book here, just a rundown again, John Menzies number 9 on it. Again, I don't know what that means back today. I did purchase it from John Menzies, but unsure what these numbers were. Was it charts or something? I don't know. Not sure if it was kind of game book charts or just book charts. Maybe it was number 9 the book charts, who knows. So this game book, it says, evil threatens the great throne of Kaizan. Dark forces are massing in the wild and ancient land of Kaizan. Unless you reach the great throne in time, the murderous Pfizer Chingiz will take power. Who knows what evil will flow from Kaizan if his vile schemes succeed. But time is running out. You must face Chingiz, I'm sure that's not pronounced that way, before it's too late. The destiny of Kaizan is in your hands. So the cover illustration was Les Edwards, who done Skylord. Total contrast in covers, total contrast, polar opposites, but same artist. Look at that, and that one. It's amazing, isn't it? So Les Edwards was the artist who done the front cover on this one. Cracking cover, as I said there earlier. So open the book up. This book was written by Luke Sharp and illustrated by the great Martin McKenna. He's a fantastic artist as well. So that's, sorry, I'll just check the publication date of this one. It is 1988. 1988 is a publication of Daggers of Darkness. There's a few publications in this year. So moving on from Gamebook number 35, Daggers of Darkness, to Gamebook number 36 in the series here, we have Armies of Death. I really like this cover. Very red. They just emanate a lot of danger. You have a kind of control creature thing with a horned helmet with a flag with a kind of dragon snake on it. His shield has got arrows in it. There's an army fight in the background. He's standing on top of dead bodies. It looks like total apocalyptic scenes here. I do like this. Yep, you have the dragon symbol at the top and the yellow Fighting Fantasy logo down the bottom there. Yeah, very inviting cover. It's a cracking cover. Move to the back. Quick description. Aglax, the Shadow Demon, is amassing an army of undead warriors to conquer Alancia. Setting off from Fang, over 200 veteran fighters. Your journey is to meet the enemy, but the Shadow Demon is not of this world, and special powers are needed to destroy him. The longer he spends searching for these powers, the stronger he will be. I see the Shadow Demon looks probably like him. So cover illustration was Christopher Achilleos was the artist in this one here. As I said, a cracking looking cover. Chris has done a few early books, the first top 10 I remember. Icefinger Mountains, Kepong, it's the map, Darkwood Forest, Forest of Fiends. Yeah, that's the map inside there, and the book. So illustrated by Nick Williams. So Nick Williams is the artist throughout this book, internal artwork, and it was written by Ian Livingstone himself. So Ian Livingstone's author of Armies of Death, Nick Williams is his internal artwork artist. First published in 1988, another book from the 88 series, or 88 year. Yep, good cover, Armies of Death. So moving on to game book number 37 in the series is this one here, and it is a chunky game book indeed. Look at the size thickness of that one. It's a really thick game book. So number 37 is Portal of Evil. On the front cover you have a creature that's brandishing a sword in his right hand, and you have a stegosaurus, or dinosaur. It does look like a stegosaurus with a lead on its neck, and he's walking this thing, and on the right hand side you have a pillar here with markings and an image. Looks like a type of alien creature. Portal of Evil, yeah, it's not a bad cover, certainly different from the other ones. Yeah, it does stand out a bit. You've got the dragon signs at the top, and the right hand side down the bottom you have the Fighting Fantasy logo. Turning around the back of the book here, it says, no one has ever set foot in the dense forest lying to the west of Cloud High Mountains until now. Gold fever has hit these inhospitable woodlands, and the consequences are terrifying. Some deadly ancient evil has been disturbed, and the whole area is suddenly terrorised by mysterious prehistoric creatures. It's up to you, a renowned and hard adventurer, to destroy the ancient evil before it's too late. Cover illustration is by David Gallagher, who done, I think he done Steal of Souls there. Yeah, he did. I said it's not a bad looking cover at all. Very dark, very moody, quite inviting. Dinosaur and a creature there as well, and a type of pillar with various like white, and it looks like a space kind of type creature on it. So inside the book, you have a map inside the cover. Yep. And this one was written by Peter Darville Evans, and the internal artwork is by Alan Langford. And this game book was published in 1989. So it's first published in 1989, so this is the first game book of 89. Portal of Evil, not bad. So we're moving on to game book number 38 in the series, and we're just going to show you this here. Hopefully you can see that. This game book is Vault of the Vampire. It's a cracking game book. If you notice this here, one game book has number 30 on it, and the other game book has nothing. There's no number on it at all on the side of the green spine here. What's the best quality cover? We'll go with this one here. So we'll look at this game book cover, and we have a very unusual figure for Fighting Fantasy with a vampire. Well, vampires do heavily, they're heavily in the game books themselves when you play them, but to have a game book about a vampire, or a vampire themed game book, this was the first one that came along. It's an excellent game book, Vault of the Vampire. So you have the main vampire in the front of the book, and you have the poor victim lying on a slab at the back inside his vault. Very dark, very moody, very dark, very moody. Nice big red V, a blood-like V for the start of the title. Yeah, very inviting. That game book sitting on the shelf, Vault of the Vampire, jumps out. Definitely jumps out. So the artwork in this one is by, again, Les Edwards. Les Edwards of Port of Evil and Steal of Souls. So Leslie's had a prolific run here in this game book section as the artist of choice for these game book covers. So the back of the game book gives you a rundown here. Can you put an evil end to Count Heydrich's evil reign of terror? You are a hardy adventurer and have journeyed to the icy mountains of Morastatia in search of great wealth and fortune, but what you find there makes your blood run cold. You discover by chance the terrible secret of the local villagers. Can you free them from the evil tyranny of the bloodthirsty Count, or will you too succumb to a horrifying fate? So Les Edwards is the artist on the front cover. Yeah, it's a very inviting, very dark looking cover. The vampires there. This would definitely jump out at me if I seen this on the shelf back in the day. Again, if you're into vampires, then obviously this would be a no-brainer. This game book certainly would be one in your collection if you'd seen this sitting in a bookshop back in the 1980s. So open the book up here. We have Keith Martin, aka Carol Sargent, is the author of this book, and it's illustrated by Martin McKenna. This game book would be 1989. Yep, first published in 1889. So that's Vault of the Vampire Gamebook number 38. So moving on to Gamebook number 39. 39 there is Fangs of Fury. And immediately, my first impression of this gamebook, it's a very dark contrast. Here the cover, you've got a type of ogre there, brandishing a sword, and you have these serpent snakes, one's wrapped around him. He's inside a cavern, there's a tree there. Again, you've got the dragon signs at the top and the Fighting Fantasy logo at the bottom. I don't know, it's very dark looking, or is it faded as well, the contrast of the book. So the back of the book gives you a basic rundown. The fire of the Sentinels must be rekindled. 6 massive stone dragons guard the tiny kingdom of Zamara, but the fire they breathe has been extinguished, and now Zamara is under siege by Ostrogoth the Grim and his swarming hordes. His aim is to destroy the 12 wizards of the Mage Order and spread the evil of the enchanter Jixartes through Kul. The Sentinels of Fire must be restored to its former power, and you have volunteered for the task. Your terrifying mission will take you down into the white-hot core of the volcano known as the Fangs of Fury, and there's no time to lose. So David Gallagher is the artist in the front cover here. I do like the kind of colour of this back of the book. It's a kind of grey-brown colour, or kind of grey-olive colour. So inside the book you have Zamara. It's a map of the area, a city-state, it says, the Dragonlands, etc. Oh, that just reminded me, errors do happen here, I totally forgot. Sorry, jumping backwards and forwards here. Vault of the Vampire, we have what's it called again? Morastatia. Morastatia is a map of the region, and you've Castle Hadric in the background, and the Forest of Phantoms. So that's the map of Morastatia and the Vault of the Vampire. So just jump back to Fangs of Fury. I do apologise there, that was my fault, I missed that map out. So inside Fangs of Fury, apart from the map, the author of the book was Luke Sharp, and again David Gallagher is the artist throughout this book. This book was published again in 1989. So that's Gamebook number 39, and it's Fangs of Fury. So this is the last gamebook of the section, you're probably pleased to know. So we've run down 9 of them. Number 10 here is Dead of Night. Dead of Night, you have a very large creature that's drilling with its fangs, red eyes, coming through the forest at you. I actually don't like this cover, I'm sorry. I think the background, the blue, it just doesn't match. It's too blue, it's too primary for me as such. Is it like lava opening up the ground? I'm not keen on this cover at all, I'm afraid. Terry Oakes is the artist who's done this cover in this book. Basic rundown, it says, the Demon Lord Mur seeks revenge. You are renowned throughout the land as a demon stalker, waging war against the creatures of chaos. More than once you have thwarted the Demon Lord's evil schemes, but now Mur has discovered a cunning way of exacting his revenge. There is no alternative. You must confront and destroy the Demon Lord, for the whole of the free world is threatened. Mur's evil powers may soon enable him and the hordes of the vile demons to cross from the demonic into the earthy plane. So that's the rundown the back of the book. It's a great book though. It doesn't matter what I think about the cover. Dead of Night's a fantastic game book. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Inside you have Galantaria is the region. Craig Rock Peaks, so that's the map inside, north to south, east to west. Galantaria, there's the map. Okay, must apologise, some of the pronunciation here might not be up to standard. So this game book's written by Jim Bambara and Stephen Hand, and it's illustrated by Martin McKenna. The front illustrator again Terry Oakes. This game book, somebody being second hand has actually scribbled some notes inside the cover here. Some game books he's missed out, he's put the rest of them in. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. So this one again was released in 1988, so this book 1988. And that is the last game book in the rundown. It's Dead of Night. so we've done the books. I'm going to choose my top 3. So believe it or not, this has been really difficult. The other game books were a wee bit easier on this one to choose. There's a few are really quite equally matched here. So this is not an easy one. So I'm going to go with, okay, third position for me is Stealer of Souls. Stealer of Souls is the third game book, third spot, sorry, and that is by David Gallagher. On the cover you have this entity here holding a flame and a sword and a type of soul ghoul in the background. I do like the colour of this book, the kind of misty blue colour. So that's game book number 34, Stealer of Souls, is in third position. Okay, in second position for me is, this is tough, second position is Vault of the Vampire. It's not the most detailed cover, but it's the first one to ever feature a vampire, and it just stands out a mile. That's sitting on the shelf, just sitting on a shelf, would just jump out. Stands out a mile for me. You've got obviously the maiden in the background lying on a slab in the vampire's vault. So yep, again the artist in this one is Les Edwards. Again, yep. I'm just checking something there. So Les Edwards is artist in the front cover here of Vault of the Vampire, which is secures number 2 spot on the list here. Number 2, Vault of the Vampire. And finally, number 1 here is again by the artist Les Edwards, is Daggers of Darkness. That's a fantastic cover here. Fantastic artwork with the 2 tigers and the individual, the character, and standing on them with his mace and his patch in his eye, and an eagle type, a hawk and an eagle in the background. Very Arctic looking background. Les Edwards is the author, sorry, the illustrator on this game book. Front cover. So this is the top spot, number 1 here in this section, game books number 31 to 40. Les Edwards is the artist who has designed this cover here. So that's the 3 of them, and as always we have a 4th spot. Now the 4th spot was really tied with Stealer of Souls. This one was really neck to neck here, so there wasn't much in it at all. So in 4th spot, or runner-up spot, goes to Armies of Death. I just really like this cover here, the red background and the creature standing on some bodies and the warriors behind them fighting. It just really, yeah, it stands out for me, especially the colours in this game book. And Chris Achilleos was artist in this cover here. So there we have it, folks. That's the rundown of the top game books from 31 to 40. Next time we'll be looking at 41 to 50, which should be really interesting. I'm excited about doing that rundown. And then finally it will be 50 to 59. So I'd like to thank you once again for subscribing to the channel, everybody who has subscribed and also commented in these game books. As I said earlier on, it really means a lot, and the channel's not very big, but we all share the same passion, these Fighting Fantasy Game books, and I really appreciate you viewing this video. Not always perfect, some of the pronunciation is not great for me. It's that long since I've read some of the books, but I've read over the last year or so quite a few of them now. I've reread some of them as well. I've collected the full series, so I find them very enjoyable, and yeah, I do look after these books, and obviously some of the books here that's maybe slightly damaged, like Battle Blade Warrior, where the wee mouse is obviously getting to the corner, will definitely need to be replaced. So thanks again for watching, and hopefully see you again, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you've not done it, and also commenting, and I'll see you again in the next episode of Gamebook Collector. Thanks for watching.